Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching an India Today special broadcast. It's been a tough night for the BJP, at least as far as the exit polls are concerned. The critical question is, if the trends reflected in the exit poll hold on the 11th of December, what implications will this verdict have for the election in 2019? There are two possibilities. One, that this was a lot of anti-incumbency built over several terms of BJP governments being in power, and that anti-incumbency is now washed out. PSC data over the last several months shows, despite local anti-incumbency, Narendra Modi still remains very popular. The other theory is that this brings the opposition together. This brings the Congress back into life, as is trending on social media. Congress abhi zinda hai, Tiger zinda hai, Congress zinda hai. Gives them a boost of energy. What will happen? We'll debate that over the next 1 hour. If you've just tuned in, let me quickly run you through all the exit poll numbers. Our own poll done by Axis My India for India Today and the poll of polls. I'll start with Madhya Pradesh. This is going to be, according to Axis My India, a cliffhanger, a nail-biting finale on the 11th of December, because Axis My India projects for India Today that if you look at the upper side of the range that's being given, both the Congress and the BJP are in the hunt to win. And the reason we're saying this is, there are 40 seats. We've gone 200 plus sample in every seat. Of all the 230 seats, there are 40 seats where it's too close to call. The gap is less than 3% in our polling, which means, frankly, on polling day, these seats can go in either direction. So, on the lower side, the BJP could end up between 102. On the higher side, 120. The Congress between 104 and 122. When it comes to vote share, look at how tantalizing the vote share is. The margin is only 1%, 41 versus 40. Remember, in a state like Madhya Pradesh, the Congress's 41 is worth more than the 40 of the BJP, for the reason that the BJP typically tends to win with bigger margins, which means the Congress's vote share is more diffused. That helps the Congress in its vote to seat conversion ratio. I come now to Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, I think all the polls are unidirectional. They're all suggesting that the Congress is winning, the BJP is out. The question is, what will be the margin? Axis My India projects for India Today that the Congress will end up between 119 to 141, the BJP down to 55 to 72. A healthy gap in vote share as well, because remember, the BJP was substantially ahead of the Congress when it came to vote share in 2013. There has been a tsunami of anti-incumbency in Rajasthan. As of now, the Congress in our poll enjoys a 5% lead over the BJP, which means in a bipolar election, a 5% vote gap is very difficult to bridge. It's game, set, match in Rajasthan for the Congress. The question is, will it be Ashok Gehlot or Sachin Pilot? I now want to come to Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, our poll suggests, and I know there are some polls that are saying the opposite, but our poll suggests that the Congress is quite comfortably in the lead. 21 to 31 seats for the BJP, 55 to 65, the majority is at 45, 55 to 65 for the Congress. Chhattisgarh, like Rajasthan, our pollster is very confident, is comfortably in the Congress's bag. Then there is Telangana, where the Congress thought they were in the hunt after the alliance with the TDP. Our poll doesn't suggest that, because of the fact that he advanced the elections, because also of the fact that the TDP is perceived as an anti-Telangana force. They haven't done well. The TRS is through. There is pretty high level of certainty around that. The Congress-TDP alliance between 21 and 33, K. Chandrasekhar Rao storming back to power between 79 and 91. And if you look at the vote share numbers for Telangana, there is a fair gap. I don't think this gap can be bridged, or that there can be a surprise on the 11th. It looks pretty certain, if you look at the Telangana vote share, that it is the TRS that is being voted back to power. The BJP hoped to do well, it hasn't. 37% is the Congress TDP vote share, 46% is the TRS vote share. Remember, the Congress was at 25, the TDP at 15, 40% is what they would have had if there had been a perfect arithmetic. It's 37, which isn't bad, but what that shows is that the TRS's popularity between 2014 and now has actually gone up to 46%. That is quite substantial. I want to show you now the poll of polls. We'll show you the poll of polls, which will give you a sense of how all the other pollsters are looking at the same numbers. I'll start with Madhya Pradesh. I'll walk across, introduce you to our guest, show you the poll of polls, and then we'll get into this discussion on the implications for 2019. There it is on your screen right now. If you look at the numbers currently, it's split in Madhya Pradesh. There are some pollsters that are projecting that the Congress is in the lead. CNX is projecting that the BJP is in the lead. We saw today's Chanakya and India Today say that the range can be such that either can end up winning. Let me show you the poll of polls for Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, all the polls that we have unidirectionally seem to suggest that the Congress is in the lead. There is no serious pollster that believes that the BJP could win Rajasthan. This seems to be a clean, decisive message coming out of the poll of polls. Then there is Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, again a mixed bag. You've got some pollsters projecting, including respected pollsters like CSDS, that the BJP is in the lead. You've got other pollsters saying that the Congress is in the lead. And you've also got CNX, who seems to think the BJP is in the lead. So it's a split house. So, and then there is Telangana. In Telangana as well, it seems to be very strongly leaning in favor of the TRS. There is virtually no pollster worth his salt who says that the Congress could win, except C Voter, which is giving a range where if it falls on the higher side of the range for the Congress TDP, they could be in with a fight. But they're projecting a very tight fight there. Others seem to think it's a clearer battle. Okay, with that general introduction, let's get started. I want to introduce our pundits with us in the India Today Mediaplex at this time, starting with our former colleague Ashutosh. Welcome. Professor Mahesh Rangarajan, I must appreciate the fact that he's been with us from 5 o'clock, 5 hours in, still looking very energetic and all charged up. Sandeep Shastri and our National Affairs Editor, Rahul Srivastav. We've got Dr. Sambit Patra of the BJP, the one and only highly charismatic national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, joining us on this broadcast. Abid Rasool Khan joins us as well. We've got representation from the TDP and the AIMIM as well. Lanka Dinkar joining us on this broadcast, and Varis Pathan from Ovaisi's party. I want to go first to Dr. Sambit Patra, because this is not, according to the exit polls, a good day for the BJP. Ideally, in the way that Modi and Amit Shah would have liked it, you'd have liked to show a victory in all the states. That's not the case. In a worst case scenario, you could be looking at a 4-0, possibly 5-0 scoreline. If that happens, would it bring the opposition together? Does that spell trouble for the Modi-led BJP?
Rahul, ideally it's as to how you look into the glass. I mean, the glass half full or half empty, in the sense that I have been observing all these three states, leave aside Telangana and Mizoram for a while. Let me come to the Hindi heartland, in the sense that these three states were BJP ruled states till today. If you look into these three states, you would find that because of anti-incumbency in two of the states, Chhattisgarh as well as in Madhya Pradesh, 15 years of governance, what was being told by the Congress party that it would be a clean sweep by the Congress party because of anti-incumbency. I'm not seeing that. Both, in fact, all the polls that you have shown, the exit polls, they show a close fight. Some show that the Bharatiya Janata Party forms the government, the others showing the Congress marching ahead. While if you go to the poll of polls, you will see that both in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh, there is a tight fight. And Chhattisgarh has a way of presenting its result. I remember last time, 2013, when the Chhattisgarh results were being announced, till the nth hour, none of us could take a prediction as to which way Chhattisgarh was going, because the gap was quite less. And rightly projected by you also over here, that the margin in Madhya Pradesh is only 1%. With 1% of gap in the vote share, most of us would not like to stick our neck out. We would like to wait for 11th. So Bharatiya Janata Party has done quite well despite their 15 years of governance. Okay. As far as Rajasthan is concerned, remember, Rahul, I have participated in many of the opinion polls, and most of the opinion polls about a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago showed Bharatiya Janata Party with a meager sheet of 25 to 30 seats. From 25 to 30 seats to somewhere around 80 to 90 seats, I believe we have travelled a great feat. We have to wait for the counting counting day, Mr. Amit Shah, President, clearly feels that Rajasthan is in for a surprise. This rotational basis in Rajasthan, that once it's a Congress government, once it's a BJP government, after 25 years, probably this rotation would be broken. I am keeping my fingers crossed. Let's wait for 11th.
Ashutosh, is this going to spell trouble for Prime Minister Modi and the BJP post the 11th of December, or has the anger been dissipated because whatever anti-incumbency there was has now been flushed out with these assembly elections?
See, I think this has to be seen in the perspective. In 2013, when the Modi was contesting as a prime ministerial candidate, the elections happened in the 5 states, and in all the 5 states except in Delhi, the BJP had handsomely won. And that created a wave in favor of Mr. Modi, though Modi had a very popular following because of the irrelevance which Congress made itself before the parliamentary election because of the corruption charges and other things. Similar thing is, I will not say the similar thing will happen right now, but one thing which is happening is that finally the people will realize that the Congress is not somebody who has lost the battle before the battle is started. Till now, everybody was thinking that wherever there is a direct fight between the Congress and the BJP, there is no match, because BJP has been winning and the Congress has been losing all through. The 3 states, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, these are the die-hard Hindi belt, and 65 parliamentary seats are here. So if BJP loses all 3 seats, there is a certain amount of problem which will crop up if Mr. Modi do not wake up, because it's still 6 months are there. But still people are not willing to believe that Modi can be defeated.
Political stock exchange done over September and November for these states, Professor Rangarajan showed that when the question was asked, who would you like to see as the next Prime Minister of this country, Prime Minister Modi was in the high 50s, early 60s. That is incredible number of popularity. It can be argued that the anti-incumbency verdict was against the sitting MLAs, the ministers and the chief minister of these 3 states. It doesn't need to impact what happens in 2019.
See, Mr. Modi became very prominent in national politics. Actually, from around 2007, when he won his second Gujarat election, it was clear that he was someone marked out. And once he won in 2012, effectively, he was moving into the front rank of BJP. So there is an enormous amount of work that has gone into building his image, also his appeal among vast sections of people, including those who were not traditional BJP voters. So if it becomes a Rahul Gandhi versus Modi contest, and he has then been Prime Minister 5 years, obviously he starts with an advantage. However, the BJP would of course argue, if it becomes that, it may be a repeat of 1971. There was a grand alliance, except the CPI and DMK, everybody was on the other side, but Mrs. Gandhi had a fresh idea, Garibi Hatao, she projected strong leadership and she won.
So you're hedging.
From the reverse side.
Is it advantage the opposition if they do well, or do you believe despite reverses in these states, the BJP is still in pole position?
No, I'm not hedging. I'm just saying that the final and semi-final are different matches. Of course, if the opposition does well, it is better placed than if it does badly. Because whatever opposition you're looking at, in about half the Lok Sabha seats, little less than that, maybe 250, Congress will be the prime opponent of BJP. But if it can do well in these elections, it can strike better alliances in the others. So then there is a serious contest. Looking backward in 2014, there was hardly a contest. Congress didn't have allies in key states.
So you're saying the message, Sandeep Shastri, could be Congress abhi zinda hai, like tiger zinda hai, and the fact that mahal is important. You know, if they'd lost in these states, then they would have said after so much anti-incumbency, Congress still can't win, they're never going to win. Now at least the Congress will believe and opposition leaders will believe that they have a chance if they are with the Congress.
I think there are multiple messages which emerge if these exit poll results actually come out true on Tuesday. Message number 1, I think the Congress would begin a journey of coming back to winning ways. Something which they had not done for 4 years, not being able to defeat the BJP in a straight fight. And I think that revival of the Congress is important in the context of next year's election. That's my first point. Point number 2, I think a lot has been said about how in the last 4 years, voters in India have made this clear distinction between a state assembly poll and a national poll. And I think it will be important to see, as Mahesh very rightly put it, semi-final strategy has to be very different from a final strategy. Now, how do the two opponents strategize for the next year's election? This victory or result now does not necessarily define and decide who is going to win or lose next year. It only allows the two groupings to come up with their strategies, recognizing the fact that we are heading into a totally different pole.
Rahul,
I think
Rahul
for me is the
Srivastava,
important
what's the
factor.
mood in the BJP post these exit polls? They've been deriding Rahul Gandhi as a pappu. If you can put 2 past them, if you can put 3 past them, that's in the past. He's taken on the might of Modi and Shah, at least in these exit polls, and actually won for his party.
Rahul, since 2014, I think if the Congress does win the 3 states, it will have the best day in office. It was reduced to 44 in 2014. For the BJP, it is a fact, as Mahesh also said, that Narendra Modi remains the most popular leader, even the exit polls are showing. But the fact is that if there is anti-incumbency and if there are unpopular leaders, MLAs or the chief ministers, the prime minister's capability to lift all of them, jump past these hurdles and lead the BJP to victories in these states will be diminished. And that's why I say that, because in 19 states the BJP is in power today, there will be anti-incumbency combined with the anti-incumbency of the central government. Remember, demonetization didn't hit immediately, but later it started showing impact. GST is a factor. Policies implemented, executed have drawbacks. People are not benefiting the way the government would like to. In all that scenario, somewhere the Prime Minister, who has been the main engine of the BJP, somewhere his capability will come to doubt. What will that do?
No, but I can counter-argue. I, for example, travelled in Chhattisgarh with Raman Singh. He mentioned Atal Bihari.
I'm saying
4
diminished.
sabhas.
I'm not saying.
He mentioned
I'm not
Atal
saying
Bihari
gone.
Vajpayee as the creator of Chhattisgarh multiple times. He hardly mentioned Narendra Modi. Look at the intensity of the campaign in Gujarat. Look at the intensity of the campaign in Karnataka for the Prime Minister. This was much lesser. The BJP was consciously, because it knew that there was anti-incumbency, trying to keep the Prime Minister away from taking the hit personally.
Yes, that factor is always there. The point is that when there is anti-incumbency, the Prime Minister backs up a bit. Means when it comes to 2019, we will have 19 states. Say Haryana, Mr. Khattar has not really covered himself with glory. You have got Maharashtra, you have farmers' trouble, you have got industry trouble, you have got
And you have Congress
trader
NCP
trouble,
united.
and you have Congress NCP uniting, and you have got Shiv Sena, which is on virtually acting like a rival. All these factors will come into play, will test the Prime Minister's capability, because remember in 2014 the Congress and others were in power in more states and the Prime Minister only had to take the BJP to power.
Sure.
This time around
across to the guests who are joining us from the outside.
Against the BJP.
Starting with Abid Rasool Khan of the TRS, the fact is that the TRS is seen as a close proxy of the BJP. You've helped the BJP 6 times in legislation in the parliament. If the BJP were to lose, as these exit polls are suggesting, do you think that's bad news? Could the TRS then, because the Congress is your main opponent in Telangana, so you can't possibly ally with the Congress, but what do you think could be the implication for 2019, Mr. Khan?
Rahul, first of all, there is no opponent to TRS in Telangana. The mandate of the people, as shown on your poll and other polls, have shown that it's a landslide victory for TRS and the leadership of Mr. KCR. The fact remains that it is good governance, good power supply, water to everybody, and then development to all the communities irrespective of any discrimination. And then finally, it is a very, very hard and strong and very mechanized campaign that TRS has done over 3 months to reach to the people and explain the policies which have been well received, and including the minorities.
Mr. Khan, my question in this broadcast is, what is the implication for 2019? That K. Chandrasekhar Rao and your party are coming back to power. I think all the polls kind of, directionally show that. What's the implication for 2019?
Yes, give me just a minute. I will come to your. Yes, I'm coming to that. Mr. KCR in all the rallies has said that we have nothing to do with BJP, we will not have anything to do with BJP, and Mr. KCR has also said that he will play a very important role to form a federal front or a group of parties which will be non-Congress and non-BJP and which will govern the state country as they have governed in Telangana. Thirdly, the allegations of TRS joining hands with BJP is a handiwork of Congress, who have fought a very, very deplorable campaign this time election, calling names, pointing fingers at the families, and then finally getting Chandrababu Naidu into the fray, who is seen as the biggest obstacle for Telangana development. So Congress
we saw
has
Lanka Dinakar,
come to
rather
such a level
absurd
that they
situation
could not
playing out
even
during the
understand the
campaigning in
mandate of the
Telangana,
people,
where Chandrababu Naidu was saying Jai Telangana. Obviously, that didn't cut much ice with the voters of Telangana because the TDP was the strongest opponent of the idea of a Telangana. What, according to you, will be the implications of December the 11th if these exit polls hold around noon come Tuesday?
Rahul, you are also going into the trap of TRS. Because who told you that the TDP is anti-Telangana? In 2009, why TRS had made alliance with the TDP? After giving for separate Telangana statehood letter by the TDP, then only they come and form the alliance with the TDP. It is an ended matter. It was over. Just to vote votes, they want to burn the sentiment again in using. In such case, why did they part along with the TDP in 2009? That is one issue. And then come to the real point. Yes, 11th December is the real day on which your figures will be reversed. Already, we have seen that national channels, whenever they give figures in Telugu states, already every time it gets failed. Can you show me single time you have given perfect survey reports as far as Telugu states are concerned?
Salman Soz,
what happened in 2014 election?
Tell me, are EVMs fixed or not?
Election?
You know, we must settle this with the Congress just now before the 11th of December, because if EVMs are fixed, you can't win. Jyotiraditya Scindia, Kanwal, now they've all been cribbing. If you win in Madhya Pradesh, then how could you have won if the EVMs are fixed? What's happening in Rajasthan? Why is the BJP not fixing in Telangana?
Well, Rahul, let's wait for the results because as you know very well, as others on the panel know, exit polls have a patchy record. Frankly, we are looking forward to victory in all 5 states. So, I know we people tend to forget states like Mizoram. We should not. Mizoram is very much part of our country, and we should also talk about Mizoram.
We did a full exit poll for Mizoram. We're the only ones who actually had an exit poll for Mizoram.
But overall, I think that I'm just talking. I know. I mean, all the shows that I've been to, nobody's talking about Mizoram. It's very sad. But let me just say one thing. As just a general matter of principle, I think 2014, May 16th, I was in the AICC headquarters from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. taking a beating pretty much from everybody because we did so badly. Samit was there as well. And, nobody could have imagined that time. Frankly, most Indians could not have imagined a situation where 5 months away from a general election, we're already talking about a keen contest for the next government. So I think you can imagine it's a combination of a total failure on the part of the Modi government, and on the other hand, a resurgence of the Congress party. And I think there are going to be clear alliances made. The combination, I think, is going to be very, very good. I think we're going to be able to oust not just Mr. Modi, but the BJP. Because the BJP's vision of division for the country is something that people are sick and tired of. And I think they really want the Bure Din back. They don't want these Achhe Din.
Patra, Mahal is important in politics. The Mahal so far has been that the Modi-Shah juggernaut is invincible. Rahul Gandhi is a pappu. There is nothing that he can do to help the Congress win. If the scoreline reaches 2-1 or 3-0, there will be questions about whether Modi and Shah are indeed invincible. This whole, projection of Rahul Gandhi as a pappu will have to end. He would have taken on Modi and Shah in a direct contest and beaten them.
See, Rahul, as far as you call it Mahol, and in good English, I would call it as oceanography of wave of Mr. Modi. I mean, since 2013, we all are into oceanography. Kitna wave बढ़ गया, कितना नीचे आया, 2 inch wave उधर चला गया, wave खत्म होने वाला है. This we have been doing since 2013, and all the poll pundits and all the politicians have been busy in this. And let me tell you, we have survived this long. I mean, how many countries allows this? How many countries politics allows this? And a leader, Mr. Modi, in fact, in every exam after exam, he's passing with distinction, and yet we have another exam coming up, and we discuss and debate, will Mr. Modi pass this time? And we have Mr. Rahul Gandhi failing exam after exam, almost about to enter Guinness Book of World Record. I remember after
But it's almost like you're giving that answer without looking at these exit poll numbers. If these were exams, then in this exam, at least in the prelim, in the exit poll, it shows Rahul Gandhi has passed, it's Modi and Shah that may not have passed.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Rahul, let me tell you, even after all these 27 failures, we still want Mr. Rahul Gandhi to pass anyways. But as far as this exit poll is concerned, let me tell you two things. The exit polls are neck-to-neck exit poll. No one is going to stick out its neck over here. All the poll pundits on your panel also are quite reserved about the exit poll. We have to wait for 11th. And second point is, let me tell you, I was also in ground in Madhya Pradesh. Looking at the 15 years of governance in Madhya Pradesh of Bharatiya Janata Party, quote unquote the anti-incumbency that the Congress party was making a story all about, I think the Congress party would have won hands down even in the exit poll. But that's not happening. Remember what is the problem? The Congress party was not contesting. The Congress party was not working hard. Rather, the Congress party is waiting that if the Bharatiya Janata Party falls, it will catch up to say that, well, look, the Congress party has won. This is not the way they can inch closer in 2019. You have to have performance and you have to have hard work both by your side to be victorious.
Okay, you know, Sambit Patra and the BJP, Ashutosh, haven't been on the defensive in a long time. Belief is important. You've been a politician. You know, you either believe that you're going to win and you then find some way of just getting it across the line. If that belief is dented and the Congress starts believing that we can beat Modi and Shah, does that change the game somewhat?
See, the one beast who speaks lies so confidently is the politician. Till the last minute the results are out, even if he's losing his deposit, he will say, no, I am winning handsomely. So I don't, I'm not surprised by what the BJP is saying, what the Congress has been saying all along. The point which is important in politics is that people has to believe whether this person can win or not. Till now, the people has been believing in the Congress. There is no contest between Congress and the BJP. There is no contest between Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Modi. This election will break that myth. If this election breaks that myth, that yes, Mr. Modi is not invincible, Mr. Amit Shah's juggernaut can be stopped, then the people who are sitting on the fringe, the people which is called as the floating voters, they will start looking afresh with the Congress and the Rahul Gandhi with a new perspective.
No, but the leader's belief is also important, Mahesh Rangarajan. We saw in Karnataka, interacting with Rahul Gandhi, he thought he was winning. In the end, he didn't win. In Gujarat, there was anti-incumbency. He did what he could. In the end, Modi and Shah put it past him. Right. As Sambit loves to say, how many has he lost, Sambit? How many elections has he lost? Some 30, 40 elections he says he's taken the Congress to defeat. It impacts his belief. If he puts some past the BJP, does it then give him the belief that the Congress is capable of beating Modi and Shah even under me?
No, actually, the never say die attitude is even more important in a democracy. And it's important in a democracy because there's
I don't think the Congress has a never say die.
No,
I think their attitude is that the first instance they say we've died. For example, even though there was anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, the BJP fought tooth and nail. They fought till the end. If the Congress was under similar circumstances, for example in Delhi, they'd just lie back and say, oh, there's nothing we can do, there's too much anti-incumbency. It's a whole different approach of fighting elections.
I think Congress in defeat is put under the test. And all congressmen would look back to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, who lost in March 77, lost her own seat. In May 77, she went to Belchi. So she started her comeback. In 2012, Congress lost, if I'm correct, out of the 10 assembly seats of Raebareli Amethi, it lost 8. From around then, till around the time you're saying, Gujarat, the fight seemed to have gone out. And the critical thing is, in those states where Congress is the number 2, it has 35–40% of the vote. If it gets organized, there will always be a population of people who's looking for change. And there is no doubt at all in this election that fight has come back into the Congress.
Gujarat seems to Sandeep Shastri have possibly been a turning ground where the Congress started believing through that campaign that if in his own bastion Modi is vulnerable, then there can be a battle that can be fought. And Rangarajan is absolutely correct that before Gujarat, it almost seemed as if Congress had forgotten how to fight elections, that Amit Shah was giving them lesson after lesson on how to fight a poll. This for a party that ran this country for 60-odd years.
I think, as you rightly said, Gujarat saw a start of a comeback which to a certain extent went forward in Karnataka and now in this round. Let's also remember, I think possibly we need to recognize the fact that the Congress strategy is very different. It's not a leadership alone based strategy. They are looking at a policy based strategy. They are not looking at a leader strategy. They are looking at empowering their state based leaders and leading them on in the campaign. The BJP would love it to be a national leadership campaign, which the Congress is conscious. So I think we need to be conscious of the fact that as they move forward, both groups are going to adopt different strategies. Both groups are going to play to their strengths.
Okay.
And I think the Congress strength at the present stage as it makes this comeback is not so much a reliance on its Delhi leadership or its central leadership, but then its reliance on its forces in the various states of the country.
Okay,
That, I think,
Varis
is their
Pathan from Owaisi's party is with us on this broadcast. Mr. Pathan, if these exit poll numbers hold on the 11th of December, what according to you are the implications for national politics and the comeback bid for Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah?
Well, Rahul, let me tell you, the exit polls are indicative of the fact that the people of the nation have totally rejected Modi, Amit Shah and the BJP. It's clear. Not only that, even the mandate is not totally with the Congress. Let me talk about Telangana. When I was campaigning since last 1 week, Modi, Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Yogi, everybody came there. They spoke against us. Yogi in fact went a step ahead and he said that if the party come into power in Telangana, they will change the name of Hyderabad. And like Nizam was made to run, we will also be made to run. Without knowing the history that Nizam was made a Raj Pramukh and Nizam has donated tons of gold. So the arrogance of Yogi, Modi and everybody has cost them dearly. Now the people of the country, Rahul, wants, first of all, let me tell you that we contested on 8 seats in Telangana and inshallah we are hopeful of winning all the 8 seats. We supported TRS and that KCR will become the CM. That much I can assure you, looking at the trends which are coming. The people of the nation wants an anti-Congress government, anti-BJP government. The one government which should be formed in the center should be the regional party.
In the second part of this broadcast, I want to delve into
the country forward. People
the
are
other
very much
key
now
narrative that
with
we've
the
seen build, which is of a swing towards more and more aggressive communal polarization. Now, there are two things that can happen post the 11th of December. One is that there is an even greater swing towards the right, an even greater communal polarization that builds. We saw that in Bulandshahr. We've been seeing it when Yogi Adityanath says we'll shoo the Owaisi brothers out of Hyderabad. The other is that the message could be that 2014 wasn't so much about communalism as much as it was about Vikas, Modi's development message, and therefore let's come back to track, which is the view that Prashant Kishore has, a lot of the pollsters who work with the BJP have, but many in the BJP believe that Hindutva is the way to go. Mahesh Rangarajan, I'll ask you this question. Will we see a greater push towards more aggressive Hindutva, or do you believe the message will go out that let's go back to our basic development track, which is what brought Modi to office?
They will have both.
How can you have both?
No, they will have both, because if you go back again to 2014, there were two messages. One was a negative message vis-a-vis the Congress: corruption, slow growth, policy paralysis, need for decisive leadership. The other, remember, this is a party which, even at its worst in the last 15-20 years, has been getting 20-25% of the vote. They are people with conviction. This is not simply an electoral issue. So they also have to rally those who are with their party. But to expand the base, they have to talk about economic issues. And you're right, when you look back at 2014, I'm really struck. I think Mr. Modi, the remarkably energetic campaigner he is, spoke 465 times in different rallies. He's a rare politician. He made specific promises. Farmers' incomes, he would implement the Swaminathan Commission. OROP, he would do it. Now what's happening is 4 to 5 years on, people are coming back and saying, have you delivered? So the BJP nightmare and the dream. The nightmare would be, it will be back to India shining. Kya achhe din aaye hain. The dream would be that because we've worked out these schemes and delivered, we've built the houses, we've got the cylinders, we've signaled, however hard your times may be, government is with you. So they cannot give up on
But it's not that simple, Ashutosh, because even if there are many in the BJP who believe that there are schemes that have gone right down to the people, Ujjwala, the house building schemes, etc., and that should be the showcase, there are others who believe that these schemes alone won't win Modi another term. And therefore, the push has to be for more of what Yogi Adityanath has been doing, more of Hindutva. Which way do you see the BJP move post the 11th of December?
See, the two things which I want to make, the first of all, sometimes what happens, the politicians, they live in a make-believe world. They had done it, it has been delivered, and now they are winning. Ujjwala scheme is one of those schemes. On the ground, there is still a lot has to be done. Second point, which is I think which is very, very important since 2014, the perceptible change which has taken place, there is a social communal polarization in terms of identity, that somebody else, people don't used to say that I am a Hindu. Now people are proudly saying they are a Hindu. But will this social communal polarization will turn into a political dividend? That's a question which has to be asked. The point is, BJP succeeded, RSS succeeded in its game plan, but will it help BJP?
No, because
will it help
Shastri,
RSS?
it can
That's
be
the question.
argued that unless there is strong polarization, or unless Hindus think of themselves as Hindus and don't look at caste, if the SP, BSP come together, it becomes very difficult for the BJP. So the only way to win 2019 is to get Hindus to vote as Hindus. That way, you've got a rainbow alliance not dependent on caste. Do you see the BJP move towards more aggressive Hindutva, or do you think it will be a back to development narrative?
No, I don't think it would be a either or choice. The situation is much more complex. The issues are much more complex. The voters are much more diverse. I would believe that the Ram Mandir issue, the temple, the religion issue will be something they will use here and there, now and then. I largely see it happening in possibly UP when there is an SP-BSP alliance. I also possibly see it happening in urban centers, especially in the northern part of India where it could work. But I would also say what Dr. Mahesh mentioned. If they last time won on a development plank by projecting the prime ministerial candidate, that mascot is still important in this election, because they would still want to go into the poll with the prime minister, with his reputation, with his capacity, and say, please remember the new slogan, Niyat Saaf hai. You see? We have a leader who has got great intentions. We have done X, Y, Z. Yes, we have not done everything we promised. For that, we need one more term to do. So I think it's going to be a combination
Sambit
of
Patra, your critics can argue, instead of saying Achhe Din Aa Gaye 5 years later, which is what you'd promised, you're still only talking about your niyat, whereas your message should have really been that India is shining, Achhe Din Aa Gaye, and that's not what you're going to the voters with. Do you see a greater push towards Hindutva? Do you see a return to the development track? Or do you see both working in tandem?
See, I agree. See, as far as winning election is concerned, it has to be a multi-pronged approach, but I'll answer you specifically also. But I agree with Mr. Sastry when he says that niyat is extremely important, and that of course Mr. Modi's niyat is something which the country is aware of, and in fact the country celebrates that niyat. But remember, it's not just the niyat. Mr. Modi has given out tangible benefits. In fact, today itself, today morning, 10:30, while Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, was addressing one of the press meets, the Jagran Forum, he gave out the results, the report card of Bharatiya Janata Party's deliverables, as to why it was that for 65 years after independence, there were 55% of population without reach of LPG cylinders. We delivered that. Why was it that we had to come up with 33 bank accounts in Jan Dhan Yojana? Why this inclusion was not there? 19,000 villages had to be electrified. So these are tangible benefits which have gone to people, and as you would be aware, because you have interviewed Mr. Amit Shah number of times, and he had always pointed out to this 22 crore families who are 22 crore people who are the beneficiaries in India thanks to Mr. Modi's programs, and very scientific way of dealing with electioneering. That's what Mr. Amit Shah does, approaching each and every family which has been benefited by the programs of Bharatiya Janata Party's government in the center.
If these
Secondly, as
results
far as
hold, Rahul
Hindutva is
Srivastava,
concerned,
the Amit Shah model of running elections will also come into question. You know, if the people are on your side, then all this Panna Pramukh, booth management makes a difference, wins you tight contests. But if people themselves are turning against you, like we've seen with farmers, we're seeing in rural areas, we're seeing with the unemployed, then this whole election management strategy pays limited dividends.
Definitely, Rahul, because if you look at these states, these are the states where rural population and voters are more than the urban. These are the places where those who are deprived and the social destitutes are much more than other states. In the scenario where, despite a lot of claims, Ambedkar special sessions and others, Dalits and others and farmers are going against you and they feel aggrieved, you may have Panna Pramukhs, but people may not come to the polling booth for you. That is where lies the crisis. Also, if this exit poll holds, the other problem will be that if you recall, after the 2015 Bihar election, the knives are out, the Margdarshan Mandal members were out writing letters against Amit Shah, challenging him, putting question marks and putting pressure on the BJP's top duo, Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. I don't think that's not going to happen.
You're saying that there could be questions asked to Modi and Amit Shah,
leadership.
that nobody in the BJP has done that so far. If these defeats happen, then there will be more murmurs of dissent. The Margdarshak Mandal, those who are upset, will start speaking up. Let Sambit Patra respond to that.
No, I would not be talking about the Margdarshak Mandal, but very candidly I would speak about something. I'm proud today that I'm part of a BJP which has worked for the people. I'm proud today that I'm working under two leaders, Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, who have worked relentlessly to see to it that this party grows. Rahul, I do not know, what else can be done. But I can vouch for one thing, that such hard work has been brought into the platter today that even youngsters like us are jealous. You know, we cannot match the pace of our Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah. Day in and day out, these two people are working. What else can they do? They are not corrupt. They have not done anything against the country. Their intentions are right. They are working for the right cause. In 4.5 years, they have really transformed various sectors. What else do you want? India realizes this aspirational politics of these two great men. They're assets for Bharatiya Janata Party. We stand by them through thick and through thin. We stand by these two great leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Rangarajan has a question for you, Dr. Patra. Go on, sir.
Dr. Patra, you know, Gandhiji said when we think of what we are doing for the country or the people, we think of the last person in society. Do you believe that in this period in office, those sections which are an underclass, the poor, those who are marginal, they have really benefited? Because that is what this election to some extent is about, because many of these are parts of the country where development has not reached, the fruits have not reached. So that Daridra Narayan, to use Vivekanandaji's term, do you think that that is a section which feels much better now that this government is there and sees it as something which is its own government? But I'm referring to the BJP, of course, in this case.
Maheshji, let me begin by, in fact, congratulating you, because I have been hearing you. You are extremely articulate and well read and well researched. I mean, this is a rare feat nowadays in television debates. Now, answering your question, let me tell you, Mr. Mahesh, that, I firmly believe that still lots must be there which needs to be done for the poor of this country. But I can vouch for the fact that in the last 4.5 years, much has been done which was left out as far as the policy of inclusion in many years is concerned. I answered about the Jan Dhan Yojana. Why is it that there were 33 crore people still left? There will be many questions about the bank accounts, but why? Why this inclusion was not there? Why is it that we still had about 19,000 villages in the country? Today morning, the Prime Minister gave a very good example, and I should congratulate the Aaj Tak channel also, because Aaj Tak showed this on its own channel. Remember, there is a small village in Elephanta which is quite close to Mumbai, you know, one of the top cities of India. Despite the fact that it is so close to Mumbai, this village did not have electricity for the last 70 years. Thanks to Mr. Modi's under-cable endeavor, that Elephanta's village today have electricity.
Okay.
That is a person who must
I'm
have
going
been
to
watching
slip into a
Mumbai
break
for
right
70
now. We'll
years,
come back
suddenly
for
has
final
electricity.
comments with all our guests. But if you've seen Indian politics over the last 5 years, and if you've tracked the careers of Modi and Amit Shah, you can be certain of the fact that no matter what happens on the 11th of December, they're not going to give up. They're not throwing in the towel. They will bounce back as hard as they can. They will go all out to ensure that whatever happens on the 11th of December stays on the 11th of December. Mahesh Rangarajan made a very important point. There are two separate matches. Because you did well in the semi-final means nothing about the final. It's a completely different match. So I've got a small piece of breaking news coming in. On National Highway 27, an electronic voting machine which has been locked has been found lying on the road. This happened possibly because of the callousness of the teams that were conducting this poll. This happened in the Shahabad area on the road called the Mugalvi Road. This is on National Highway 27. That's the EVM that you're seeing on the screen. No, but I want to make this point, Rahul Srivastava, that in Madhya Pradesh we saw the Congress beat their chest saying EVMs are being tampered with, they're jumping into control rooms and stuff. We had that investigated at length on the ground. Nothing of the sort was found. This whole spectre of creating confusion around EVMs, if the Congress wins, then what are they going to say?
Rahul, I think this is what the Congress and several other political parties have been doing to and I think similarly so was Ashutosh's ex-party, the same thing at one time. The fact remains that if you start creating doubts in the minds of the electorate about the EVMs, then I don't think anybody is a gainer. Because I think many of the current politicians and journalists have not seen the days when ballot boxes were snatched. I have seen in a polling booth a senior leader who was the chief minister sitting and stamping ballot papers and putting them in a box while niche sare presiding officer murga bane hue the. I've seen those days. And to cast aspersions on a system, go back to the paper, to the ballot paper will be regressive. Countries have learned lessons from us on how to run
No,
EVMs.
but Salman, so the Congress really does need to reflect on this, you know, and you need to tell us now. Because if these exit polls are correct, then obviously EVMs are not fixed, and then you owe the people of this country an apology for creating the specter of doubt, for saying again and again EVMs are fixed, Modi and Shah playing around with them. You can't say this and then say, oh, these exit poll numbers are great and we may win 3-0.
And also doubt the election commissioners.
And doubt the election commissioners as well. Salman Soos.
The people who should be apologizing to the country are the ones who are damaging the institutions of this country and creating a credibility crisis for some of the finest institutions in this country. Please don't ask us to apologize, okay? As far as Sambit Patra was talking about Prime Minister Modi with all these bank accounts, all these villages that have been electrified, for the 18,000 villages that he talks about, what about the 640,000 villages that have been electrified before Mr. Modi came to power? India did not start in 2014. Mr. Modi is like that, relay runner who runs the anchor leg of a race and says, well, after the victory is done, he says, I won this race. It disregards what other people have done. The fact of the matter is that if their niyat was saf, if they were truly had that good niyat, that they would not hand over billions of dollars to their cronies in the Rafale deal. They would not actually go and have, they would not issue electoral bonds where 99% of the money is coming from
the
BJP.
Congress is saying that the biggest exit poll indicator today is the raid on Robert Vadra's office. The fact that on the day these exit poll numbers are coming out, ED is raiding Robert Vadra's office indicates that the BJP is rattled, and now you're making it personal by going after Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law. You know, that whole Vadra story got drowned in these exit poll numbers.
No, in fact, ridiculous. Two things. Number one, as far as the EVM is concerned, we have often seen that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, just before the counting day, politically buys anticipatory bail through the EVM machine. Today also he has done the same. He has about, I believe 4 hours ago, tweeted that the EVM machines are being tampered with in Madhya Pradesh. I see that as a political anticipatory bail before defeat. And secondly, as far as Robert Vadra is concerned, well, that was an ongoing case. This Congress party spokespersons get up in the morning, start teasing us, करके दिखाओ, ED को बोलो हम पे रेड करेगा, CBI को बोलो हमारी केस करेंगे. And as soon as the case starts taking place, they start crying.
Fair point.
अरे ये तो vendetta है,
because when we asked this question to the Congress, they said 4.5 साल हो गए, अब तो charge sheet भी नहीं हुई, कुछ भी action नहीं हुआ, you're not doing anything. था तो जेल में बंद कर दे. Now when they're doing it, you're saying it's political vendetta. It can't be both ways from the opposition's perspective, where they're first daring the BJP to take action against Congress leaders like Bhupendra Hooda, Robert Vadra. When the action is taken, they're saying this is vendetta.
Why did the BJP promise in 2014 parliamentary election? I still remember Ravi Shankar Prasad coming out with a booklet and saying within 6 months we come to the government, Mr. Vadra will be in jail. Now it's 4.5 years. And in the last leg of your election, you are trying to prove that the Mrs. Gandhi and the Rahul Gandhi and Indira Gandhi, all of them are corrupt. Whether they are corrupt or not, the law should take its own course.
I'll answer that.
The point is, today, if you are doing anything against the Nehru Gandhi family, people will see it with a lot of doubt and suspect that you are doing it for some ulterior political motive. That's
Rahul,
all. And I tell you one thing, just 30 seconds, I tell you one thing.
Rahul, I'll just take 10 seconds, a very important point.
If they further track down Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, it will badly boomerang on the BJP.
It's a fair point Ashutosh makes, because the BJP runs the possibility of building Rahul Srivastava's sympathy. You could generate, it could backfire. You go after Robert Vadra, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, etc. Could it possibly backfire?
See, we saw it in the post-emergency phase. Indira Gandhi.
Modi benefited from it. They attacked him. Modi benefited from it.
Rahul also, what I will say here, beyond the charge sheet, 4 years, 6 months and others, The crisis the BJP has to realize is that the public has exhausted its anger as far as the Congress corruption is concerned. It did it in 2014 and in the subsequent elections. Now the issue is not the Congress corruption, they have been punished. The public is saying, "Peek diya inko ek baar, ab theek hai hamare liye." Now they will look at other issues in elections. So harping on corruption in the Congress and damad and ma beta, I don't think is.
We saw, for
cutting ice
example,
with the
when we
voters.
did the speech Analytica Sambit Patra in conclusion, that the Prime Minister mentioned the Congress party 17 times, he mentioned the dynasty 12 times, he didn't mention Vasundhara Raje even once. Not once did he say anything about any scheme of the Rajasthan government. You know, people can, voters can say, you promised change, you promised achhe din, now you are saying what the Congress didn't do in 60 years. You give a report card for what you did in 5 years. Final words, Sambit Patra.
The Prime Minister has always been giving his report cards. All his speeches, he has spoken about how he has transformed the lives of people of India. He is also attached to it the report card of the respective states also. I have heard his speeches myself. As far as the question of Asutosh is concerned, if I give the chronology of timing of Mr. Robert Vadra, a small example, 2013, he brought lands in Bikaner, remember? And by 2015, when we were in power, these lands were taken back and cases were registered. FIR was registered in Bikaner. And the case is ongoing, and in that case we saw
Salman, so very quickly, 20 seconds, respond to Sambit Patra. If they don't take action, you say kuch karte nahi hai, aise hi bolte hain. When they're taking action, you're calling it vendetta.
Look, they can take as many actions there as they want. The people of the country know that these guys did not do anything for these 4.5 years. They're not going to be able to do anything for the remaining 6 months. I think there is a momentum building in this country for change, and not just change across the states, but across the country as an national level.
We're out of
what
time.
they're scared of. By the way, I don't know whose question that was. I'm talking about Prime Minister Modi. I'm trying to hold that person accountable. I want to ask him if he can give a report card to
so we can continue. We'll have plenty of time. The numbers only start coming at 8 a.m. on the 11th. We've got a working weekend ahead of us. I promised to have these gentlemen back. We'll debate this on Saturday and Sunday, and our guests will be here with us. Sandeep Shastri, in fact, is coming from Bengaluru. Ashutosh now speaks with a lot of insight. Ki neta kya karte? He knows it very well because he's been there, done that. So speaks from first-hand experience, which obviously journalists don't have, covering politics from the outside in quite the same way. Mahesh Rangaraj, it's been a delight having you back on TV. You know, you got a certificate from Dr. Patra as well, which was interesting. But the fact is, it's been fantastic having you back. Really sharp insights. Sandeep Shastri, it's always a pleasure. Rahul Srivastava will be leading our reportage on the ground, tracking everything that happens. The BJP, as of now, somber, sober, slightly worried, but the BJP has also said that Congress has won on exit polls in the past. Let's see if they win on the 11th. 12 p.m. is when we'll actually know, and that's what a senior Congress leader also who's watching this broadcast, and the senior most leader just mentioned to say, all this is good, let's see what happens on the 11th. Let's wait till the 11th. So they won in exit polls. Can they actually beat Modi and Shah? That is the question which everyone's asking. We'll give you the analysis. We'll wait for the 11th. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. More on the other side. Stay with us.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.